it nice you come and visit me? 'Cause yesterday I'm nothing more than a street punk, right? But all of a sudden you get some word that, hey, maybe this man's got a little bling, and all of a sudden you decide I ain't no street punk. Isn't that just the way it works? Well, yeah, I do got some bling. Just fell off the truck.
Hey, Jimmy, that's funny, Jimmy. You keep telling him, Jimmy.
Shut up, Tommy. You want some? We can make a deal. It's right here. All you want. Just a little bit of nice little bling. Got some ice, and you and I can make a deal. But the deal ain't nothing like you'd see on eBay. This ain't no eBay here.
Hey, Jimmy, that's great, Jimmy. Jimmy, that's great. Jimmy, you're great.
Shut up, Tommy. This is what it is. We start talking. We start talking zeros. We start talking zeros, but we don't start talking ones. I don't want to hear about twos, threes, fours, fives. Maybe we start talking sixes. 6 zeros and numbers that are not less than 6. Some pretty good bling in here. What you pay me, you make more. Just fell off the truck, but it's still good. Shut up, Tommy.
Wow, $6 million. That's a lot of bling. That's a real treasure. And the question is, what would you give for that treasure? In fact, what would you give for your favorite treasure? That's actually the question that Jesus asks us today when he talks to us about treasure. He says to us that where your heart is, there your treasure is as well. And so the question is, what is it that you treasure most in your heart? And that's the treasure that you will seek. Now, he's talking about that in light of heaven. And he's saying, store up treasure in heaven. Well, what kind of treasure can you hold in heaven? You can't take it with you. And therefore, even if you have over $6 million of jewels, not going to do you any good in heaven. What is it that is the treasure in heaven? Well, I think maybe one of the answers to that question can simply be found in listening to people ask about heaven. And the question I hear the most is this: will my loved ones be in heaven? That means that what they treasure most is their relationship with their loved ones. That's a powerful, powerful understanding of treasure. Therefore, what they treasure most, more than bling, is love. We understand that God is love, and therefore when God is love and we are in touch with God, we're in touch with that which is love. And therefore, when we talk about treasure in heaven, we talk about it in light of love. And so what Jesus says is, prepare yourself so that in heaven you may be in a kingdom of love. Because that's the treasure in heaven. When we understand that from a different perspective than we would understand it maybe in an earthly environment. You see, St. Paul makes an interesting point when he tells us that the kingdom of God is not about eating and drinking, it's about peace and justice. And when we're talking about peace and justice, we're talking about a kingdom that is ruled where people are loving one another. That's what Christianity is about. Now, you and I know that there are many people who will call themselves Christians that do not love. Paul knew about them, and he called them noisy gongs and clanging cymbals. 1 Corinthians 12. And these are people who will understand the rules of Christianity, but not the love of Christianity. And they're there. The issue is, who are you? And are you working to build up love? And build up love within your own community and your own world. And that's something we need to do. We need to be people of love. That's why prayer is so important. And that's why prayer for your enemies is so important. If you can pray for your enemies, then you can pray for anybody. And if you can love your enemies, then you can love anybody. Isn't that really the truth? And so when we understand that, and we understand Christ's call for us to love, then we understand that when He's telling us to store up treasure in heaven, He's telling us to learn how to love and to love. And He's telling us to work to get others in heaven through that act of love, because that's what we want to see. One of the questions that the atheist would ask, which a little bit on the sarcastic side, they'll say, how can you be in heaven when your grandmother is in hell? Well, let me reverse that, because let me tell you, a simple rule about theology is your grandmother knows more theology than you will ever learn in any theology school. But that's an important question to ask. Let me reverse it. What will you do? What will you do to get the people you love, and even the people you don't love right now, into heaven? Because that's the question that Jesus asks. That's your treasure in heaven. Working to get people in heaven that they may experience love and that you may experience love. And in order to do that, there are two rules you need to follow. You need to be a person of love, and in order to become a person of love, you need to experience love. So you need to be open to being loved by others so that you can learn how to love others. And that's an important part of who we are. And so that's the question. What is your treasure in heaven? If it is love, then do everything you can to build up love here so that you may have those people you love there. God bless you.